Hi guys, it's Cornish Kayak Angler here. In today's video, I'm going to be having a look at what has to be one of the most popular sit-on-top kayaks for touring. It's efficient through the water, which makes it great for paddling on the coast, inland waters, and it also makes a pretty decent fishing kayak. It's this one here. It's the Perception Triumph 13. So here we have the Perception Triumph 13. A really great sit-on-top kayak for those who are wanting to perhaps go out paddling for the day, be it on the coast, inland waters. It's great for covering distance, and that's thanks to a really nice hull shape. It's got a nice efficient bow design to cut through the water, even in the choppy waters you often find on the coastline. It is about 13.5 feet long, just over 4 meters, with a width of about 30 inches, 75 centimeters. And again, it's just got that nice combination of length to give it efficiency through the water and a nice bit of speed as you're paddling, but also reassuring stability as well. It's got a maximum capacity of about 160 kilograms. Now, in terms of paddler capacity, I'd recommend this one perhaps up to a paddler of around 17, 18 stone, maybe 110 kilos or so. Perhaps a touch more if you're an experienced paddler and is used to paddling kayaks. But yeah, it's a great kayak. It can be used by beginners, first-time kayakers wanting to go paddling on the coast. It can also be used by those who are perhaps a bit more experienced with a paddle and are just wanting a really nice kayak for touring. It's not loaded up with loads of features. It's quite a blank hull design, but that makes it great for being able to customize it into the craft you want. If you're just touring, you might not want to do anything with it. You might just want to take it out paddling, and for that it will be fine. But perhaps if you're into a spot of fishing, it's a blank canvas. You can add rod holders, fish finder, anchoring system, and plenty more to turn it into a really nice craft for fishing, especially on the coastline, because it's got that really nice hull for cutting through coastal waters. So we're going to have a quick look, take a look at the design of this kayak and also the feature set of this kayak. So let's dive in and have a look. Okay, so starting at the bow of the Triumph 13, if we take a look at the shape of this, you can see it's a really nice, sharp and sleek bow design there. Looks quite aggressive, really. It's got a nice bit of upswept-ness to the bow. What that does is it allows the hull to punch up over the short, choppy waves you get on the coast. It's what makes this kayak really sort of efficient in the choppy conditions you get on the coastline. So yeah, really nice bow shape there. And then looking up on top, we come to a nice toggle handle for carrying the kayak, nice and easy to grip. It's actually on sort of a retractable bungee, which pulls the handle in tight when not in use, so it's not flopping around as you're paddling and going up over the waves. So nice point there to carry the kayak by, or to pull the kayak along when it's on a trolley. Get a firm grip of that and pull your kayak along. It's moving back, we come to a really decent sized oval bow hatch here, and it features Perception's dual density hatch lid. It's sort of a soft rubber outer with a hard plastic center, but you just sort of work your way around with your fingers, peeling the edge of the hatch up, and eventually it will allow you to pop the hatch off. So it's a really decent sealing hatch, nice soft rubber on the outside. It makes a good strong and tight contact with the hatch rim there, so it's a nice waterproof hatch. And there's stacks of space in here, plenty enough room for the popular Railblazer Sea Tug trolley. And that trolley will fold up and you can pop the wheels in there with a frame and the hull pads, and still have some room to store some extra gear as well. If you've not got a trolley, you can just use that area there to store perhaps a dry bag full of kit. But yeah, there's a nice amount of storage space in there. And moving back to the footwell and the main seating area, there's plenty of space here as well. It's a fairly open design. There is sort of this central column here, the front of the footwell, the cup holder, and there's a flat section with an angled section here. Actually makes quite a good space if you want to add an accessory, perhaps you could mount, if you're into your fishing, you can mount a fish finder on this position with a cable seal behind to put your wiring into the kayak. You could perhaps mount a camera mount here, or you know, a few other accessories as well. It's quite a nice little section there to put some bits. We've also got molded in footrests. These allow you to pop your feet against them, get a good purchase against the kayak, to be able to brace against it and paddle along. But yeah, several positions there to go for, and there's plenty of leg room in this kayak. I'm 6'2", and I come to just before the end notch, so you could perhaps get a slightly taller paddler in there as well. So yeah, it's good for a range of paddlers. Also notice that there's a flat area above the molded in footrests. What you can do is you can buy adjustable footrests to bolt onto this kayak. The Origins adjustable footrest can be bolt mounted to this flat section. It gives you not only more adjustment or more options in the footrest sort of length, it also gives you a touch higher purchase on the footrest, because the toe tabs sit up above the current molded in footrest on the kayak. So yeah, it can get a bit more grip against your kayak with your feet. Gives you just a touch extra control of the hull. We can also see some scupper holes at the ends of the footwell. Again, these allow the kayak to self-drain should water splash over the side or you take on a wave. Leaving these open will allow water just to flush out and run back into the water, so that you're not flooding your kayak. Moving back, we can see a small rubber centre hatch. You can open this up and there's a little bag for storage in there. Good for perhaps keeping your keys in a little dry bag in there for easy access if you need it. You can perhaps fit a few chocolate bars or something in there as well. But yeah, quite a small hatch. It's not going to be useful for too much. If you need to, the hatch rim does pop out and you can access the inside of the kayak, but because it's not a massive hatch, I think it's about 5 inch in diameter, you're not going to be fitting too much in there. That's not too much of a worry, because we got that massive bow hatch on the front of this kayak. There's also a large cargo area at the back, which we'll look at in a second. A couple more scupper holes here. On the sides of this kayak, just towards the end of the footwell, we can see a D-ring fitted here. It's one either side of the footwell at the end. These are accessory attachment points, and you can actually use these particular ones for attaching thigh braces or thigh straps to the kayak. So thigh straps are something which allows you to sort of give you a lot of connection with the hull. It sort of straps your legs down to the kayak. Good in particularly rough conditions, or if you're wanting to play in the surf, you can get a lot more control over the kayak and throw it around a bit more and turn it a little easier as well. So that's what they're there for, and there's a couple of others they meet up with just beside the back of the seat, and then the thigh straps run between these points. But you can also use them for clipping off other accessories, leashing a fishing rod or a paddle or something else like that. Just moving slightly back from that section, we can see a little dimple here in the hull, and it's moulded into the kayak both sides. And it's sort of a predisposed position to fit accessories such as a Scotty mount. This is a Scotty flush rectangular mount. These can be flush mounted to the kayak in this position. You could also use a Railblazer Starport HD. They also fit in this position as well. You could bolt one on there, but these are accessory mounts where you can add things like rod holders to the kayak. But both Railblazer and Scotty, they make a wide range of accessories which you can plug into their mounts. But yeah, there's space here on either side of the footwell on the Triumph to fit these. Not only could you fit accessory mounts, you could fit a section of slide track here. And slide tracks are something which allows you to easily add and remove accessories from your kayak, but there's ample flat space here to fit a length of slide track should you want to accessorize the kayak with some. Okay, looking just in front of the seating area here, see sort of a molded recess sort of in the shape of a seat, and that's essentially what it is. It's a small seating area should you want to perhaps take a small child on a journey with you. you're sitting in the main seat, they can sit between your legs in this sort of position here, and it just makes it a touch more comfortable for them. So yeah, it could be used by an adult and a small child, this kayak. Okay, then we come back to the seat. The Triumph 13, it's supplied with a nice high backrest, comfort rest. But yeah, it's pretty supportive, that one. Offers good amount of back support. It's got a nice amount of padding on the base, so yeah, it's comfortable for a day on the water, as you would expect with a touring kayak. And these clip to D-rings, they come with nice stainless carabiners that won't corrode in salt water, so you can be sure they'll last long. And they also clip behind this seat here on some more clip points, and they're adjustable, so you can adjust the tilt angle of the seat to get into a comfortable position for paddling. At the very center of the kayak, just above the Perception logo here, we've got nice solid molded in side handles either side here. Allows you to get a really good grip of the kayak should you want to carry it under your arm, or particularly for when you're loading it onto a car roof rack. This kayak is 27 kilos, which is, I believe, just under 60 pounds in weight. So it is manageable to load onto a car roof rack by one person. And these grab points here offer a really good place to get a firm grip to lift it up to your shoulder height or over your head to load onto a roof rack. Moving further back, some nice flat areas here either side just behind the seat. And again, if we take a closer look, you can see a molded in dimple again. And again, these are predisposed positions where you can install flush mounted rod holders. So if you're into your fishing and you want to rig this up as a fishing kayak, you can fit flush mounted rod holders right here in this position. So there's plenty enough space there to do that. Just behind the seat is another big flat area, again with a little dimple in the center. And as we now know, that's marking out where something can be fitted. And in this position, you can fit a small hatch. You can fit a screw hatch there should you want extra access inside the kayak. And then we come back to the large tank well of this kayak. Ample room here to get a big dry bag full of kit should you want to go on an overnight camping trip or a weekend trip. You can really load this kayak up. There's stacks of room here. It's got crisscross bungees to secure all your gear underneath here. And you could even, if you've got a child who wants to come along for a paddle, they could even jump in the back and sit here. You can pull the bungees out the way, and it opens up this area into a big space to store some kit. And if you're into your fishing, you could perhaps put a crate of your fishing gear in there, or hopefully your catch. So plenty of storage room on this kayak. Just looking closely at the side of the kayak here, there's a few molded in sort of recesses, again with little dimple markings. These are actually to where you would fit the uphaul and downhaul of a rudder system. The Perception Triumph 13 can be fitted with a rudder, so they offer a retrofit kit, the XCT rudder kit, designed for this kayak. And these positions here are where you would fit the uphaul and downhaul cords for the rudder system to the kayak, and they run to the back here. And at the very back of the kayak, you can see a molded in hole there. It runs straight through the kayak, see straight through there, and that accepts the 10mm rudder pin that's supplied on the Perception rudder kit. And a rudder kit is really helpful, particularly if you're paddling in breezy conditions, windy conditions, and it really does transform this kayak. It's a great kayak anyway, but if you have a rudder kit fitted to this kayak, it just makes it that much better, particularly for open water paddling where you can expect it to be occasionally breezy, or you might get an afternoon wind pickup, and a rudder kit helps you keep paddling in the direction you want. Even if the wind is trying to push you into a different direction, you can just trim the rudder, and with the rudder kit on the Triumph, they're controlled by toe tab footrest. So the footrest would be fitted up here adjustable footrest, and they have a section on the top that tilts, and you can push against those to control the rudder. A really nice and easy system. They come as a retrofit kit, so you can fit it to the kayak yourself. You have to install some rudder lines in there. Again, there's predisposed positions there where you install them, but it can be fitted to this kayak, and it's really worth it if you are going to be paddling regularly on open waters where it's windy. At the stern we can also see a moulded in groove here, and that's where the rudder blade would sit once in the uphaul position if you have got a rudder kit fitted to the kayak. So you see at the back a screw-in drain bung, as you find on all sit-on-top kayaks, to allow you to drain any water that might get inside the kayak out. You can unscrew that and drain it through that port there. Occasionally you get some condensation build up in the kayak, or you might have got a drop or two in the kayak if you've got a hatch not quite on properly. And here again we've got another retractable handle on a bungee system there, so another grab handle. Just looking underneath the kayak at the stern, you can see a black plate here moulded into the bottom of the kayak, where it's actually bolted on separately to the hull. And that's a skid plate. It's a sacrificial wear point. So say if you come into the beach and just need to drag your kayak up out the way, by dragging it on this point, you're not actually damaging the plastic of the kayak itself. You're actually scratching the wear plate here, and they can be replaced should you go through one. It would take some time to do that, but yeah, quite a nice little feature there. It helps prolong the life of your kayak. So a quick look at the underhull on the Triumph 13 here. We can see that nice sharp bow design, which is going to help this kayak cut through the water really well and cope with the small choppy waves we often find on the coast or open waters. It's a lovely smooth finish to the hull. It makes it glide really well on flat, calm water. It makes it fairly effortless paddling on those sorts of conditions. Then moving back, it sort of gently comes to the main footwell seating area of the kayak, where the kayak comes to its sort of full width. Quite a flat undersurface here. It provides lots of stability, reassuring stability, even if you're a novice paddler. But it's got these nice sort of rounded, quite steep sides that curve around to the top of the kayak, and these allow it to react well should it be slightly rougher on the water. If you've got those windy, choppy waves splashing and buffering you about, these nice sides allow the kayak to cope with those conditions. Down the main section of the kayak we can see these two really well defined tracking channels, and they help the kayak maintain a straight course as you're paddling, gives it some resistance to turning off its sort of direction of travel where you're paddling. And moving back, that's also helped by this quite defined keel line here. You can see that there. Again, yeah, that helps the kayak sort of lock into the direction you're paddling and prevent it being pushed off course. And at the back we can see the skid plate here fitted to the back, and that helps protect the very keel of the kayak at the back should you have to drag your kayak up the beach or up a slipway slightly. But yeah, there we go, that's the underhull of the Triumph 13. That really great kayak for paddling, be it on flat water or open waters where you might encounter some choppier conditions. Okay, so that's an overview of the Perception Triumph 13, a really popular sit-on-top kayak for those who want to go touring and exploring, be it on the coastline or inland waters. Also a really great platform to turn into a fishing kayak as well, particularly if you want to fish on the sea. It's not loaded up with loads of features for fishing, but it's very easy to add accessories. It's fairly blank canvas for customization. You can add rod holders, you can add a fish finder, you can add an anchoring system. But be it for fishing or for general paddling, if you really want to improve the performance of this kayak in windy conditions, add the Perception rudder kit, and it transforms this kayak and makes it a lot easier to paddle in windy conditions. As standard, it's great anyway, and great for those even novice paddlers who want to go touring and exploring on the coast. It's got that nice mix of reassuring stability, but with an efficient hull to cut through the conditions we typically find here on the coastline in the UK. It's a really great option for that. And It's great quality too, and this kayak's made right here in the UK. If you want to get your hands on one, check out Cornwall Canoes. They're a stockist of Perception kayaks and the Triumph 13. I've popped a link in the description of this video where you'll be able to access their website to take a closer look. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, please hit like, and for plenty more kayak fishing videos, kayak overviews and more, hit subscribe on my channel. If you've got any questions, feel free to pop them below in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, thanks for watching.